Welcome back everyone to JF Coin, the channel where we explore the hidden treasures in coins, their incredible history, and how a simple penny in your pocket could turn into something worth far more than its face value. Today we are diving deep into one of the most talked about modern coins, the Lincoln Penny 1 cent from the year 2011 with the Denver Mint mark, also known as the 2011 D Lincoln Penny. Now most people glance at this little copper-colored coin and think it is just 1 cent. But here at JF Coin, we know better. Every coin carries a story, a history, and a potential hidden value that collectors all over the world are searching for. And the 2011 D Lincoln Penny is no exception. First, let's start with the history. The Lincoln Penny has been around for more than a century. First introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, it became the very first coin in United States history to feature the portrait of a real person. Over the years it has gone through many design changes, but one thing has remained constant: the image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side. By 2011, the penny was showing the shield reverse design, which had been introduced in 2010. That shield symbolized the union of the states and the preservation of the United States of America. The 2011 Lincoln Penny with the D Mint mark was struck at the Denver Mint. Billions of them were made, so at first glance you may think they are all just common. But coin collecting is never that simple. Within those billions of coins are special errors, rare conditions, and high-grade examples that make them stand out in the marketplace and raise their value far above 1 cent. Now let's talk about the current value. A regular 2011 D Lincoln penny that has been circulated in pocket change is usually worth face value, just 1 cent. But if you find one in mint state condition, especially graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, the value can jump dramatically. Collectors are willing to pay anywhere from a few dollars to hundreds of dollars depending on the grade. For example, coins graded MS67 or higher are extremely desirable because very few survive in such pristine condition, but here is where it gets really exciting. Some error coins and special varieties of the 2011 D Lincoln Penny can reach sky-high prices. Double dies, strikes, missing elements, or unusual die cracks are all possibilities. These errors are like hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. There are reports of certain rare errors reaching market values in the thousands of dollars. In fact, the market has seen examples climbing as high as $779,334 for the most exceptional and unique finds. Imagine turning a penny into nearly $750,000. That is the thrill of coin collecting. When you search through your pocket change, rolls from the bank, or coin collections handed down from family, do not ignore the pennies. The 2011 D Lincoln Penny might be hiding among them, and if you take the time to look closely, you could uncover something truly valuable. The condition of the coin matters a lot. Collectors want coins with sharp details, full original luster, and no scratches or marks. This is why uncirculated rolls or mint sets are often searched by collectors who are chasing after the best possible examples. Always remember, the difference between a coin worth 1 cent and a coin worth hundreds or even thousands can be just a tiny detail. Now let's talk about the current coin market. In today's coin world, Lincoln pennies are still among the most popular series collected in the United States. They are affordable for beginners and yet still hold incredible potential for experienced collectors. The 2011 D has been gaining attention because even though it is modern, collectors know that modern errors and high-grade coins can be just as valuable as older rare dates. Right now the market value can range from just a cent for a worn coin to over $300 for top-graded mint state examples. Special errors, as I mentioned earlier, can climb into the tens of thousands or even higher depending on rarity and demand. So how do you find one? Start by checking the mint mark. Look for that tiny D under the date which tells you it was struck in Denver. Then check the reverse design carefully for doubling or unusual markings. Inspect the edges for strikes or clipping errors. And most importantly, look for coins in excellent condition with no signs of wear. Those are the coins that will bring the highest prices. One of the best things about the Lincoln Penny series is that they are everywhere. Millions of people use them daily, but only collectors and sharp-eyed treasure hunters know their hidden secrets. With a little patience and knowledge, you could turn an ordinary coin into a valuable collectible. At JF Coin, our mission is to bring you this knowledge, this excitement, and to inspire you to look at your change in a whole new way. Coins are not just money. They are tiny pieces of art, history, and hidden wealth. So the next time you see a 2011 D Lincoln Penny, do not just toss it aside. Take a closer look. That little coin could be worth far more than you imagine. Whether it is a high-grade mint state coin, a rare error, or even one of those exceptional pieces that reach values in the hundreds of thousands, the possibility is real. Keep searching, keep collecting, and keep learning, because every coin has a story and every collector has the chance to find a treasure. This is JF Coin. Today we are going deep into one of the most fascinating coins in United States history, a coin that seems so ordinary yet carries extraordinary secrets. I am talking about the 1970 Lincoln penny 1 cent. Many people pass it in their change every single day without realizing what treasure they are holding. By the end of this video, you will know the history, the hidden varieties, the incredible market prices, and why collectors are hunting for this specific coin right now. Let us start with the story of the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It became the very first circulating American coin to feature a real historical figure instead of a symbolic design. This change was revolutionary, and ever since then the Lincoln penny has held a special place in American hearts and coin collections around the world. By 1970, the design was well established with Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the famous Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. At first glance, the 1970 penny looks like just another 1-cent piece struck at the Denver Mint, but the truth is far more exciting. Some of these pennies are worth much more than 1 cent, much more than $1, and in fact, the right variety in the right condition can be worth thousands. The year 1970 is legendary among coin experts because of multiple varieties and errors. Collectors are especially excited about double dies, small date and large date varieties, and striking differences that occurred during production. The Denver Mint struck millions of these coins, but only a tiny fraction contain the unique features that make them valuable today. One of the key varieties is the small date versus large date 1970 penny. At first this may sound like a minor detail, but trust me, details make all the difference in numismatics. On the small date version, the numbers in the date appear slimmer and more delicate. The top of the 7 is level with the rest of the numbers, and the loop of the 9 looks almost closed. On the large date version, the numbers appear bolder and the top of the 7 stands taller than the other digits. Collectors carefully study these details under magnification, because one type is much harder to find than the other, especially in uncirculated mint state, but the story gets even better. Some 1970 pennies, both with and without the Denver Mint mark, show dramatic double die errors. On these coins, the date, the word liberty, or even the phrase "In God We Trust" can appear doubled. To the naked eye this doubling sometimes looks like a shadow or blur, but under magnification it is clear and unmistakable. These double die varieties are extremely desirable, and prices have skyrocketed in recent years. So what does this mean for collectors and everyday people who might have a 1970 penny lying around in a drawer, jar, or wallet? It means you could be holding a hidden fortune. While a regular circulated 1970 penny is still only worth face value, the rare varieties in mint condition can sell for staggering amounts. Now let us talk numbers, because this is where things get truly exciting. The coin market has seen examples of rare 1970 pennies selling for hundreds, thousands, and even tens of thousands of dollars depending on condition and rarity. Some high-grade examples graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC have crossed auction blocks for astonishing amounts. A double die example in near-perfect condition can sell for well over $10,000. Even small date varieties in top mint state condition can command prices in the hundreds or thousands, and here is the shocker that will keep you glued to your screen. The current coin market is heating up again. As of now, rare varieties of the 1970 Lincoln penny are being listed with values climbing as high as $779,339 for the most unique and flawless examples. Yes, you heard that correctly. That is not a typing mistake. Over $700,000 for a coin that many people overlook as just a common penny. Imagine finding a coin like that in a jar at home, in your pocket change, or tucked away in an old collection from a parent or grandparent. This is the dream that keeps coin collectors searching, hunting, and examining every single detail of their coins. Now let us dive deeper into how you can identify whether your 1970 penny is special. First, check the date carefully under good lighting. Compare the thickness of the numbers. If the 7 seems to rise higher than the rest, you might have the large date variety. If the 7 looks even and the 9 looks tight and closed, you may be looking at a small date version. Next, examine the mint mark. The letter D can sometimes show repunching, where the die struck it twice slightly off position. This kind of mint error also adds collector value. After that, look closely at the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." If you notice any shadowing, doubling, or unusual thickness in the letters, you may be holding a double die variety. These are among the most valuable of all 1970 Lincoln pennies. If you believe you have found something special, do not clean the coin. Cleaning can destroy its value instantly. Instead, handle it carefully by the edges and consider sending it to a professional grading service. A certified grade not only protects the coin but also gives you the documentation that collectors and buyers demand when paying top dollar. The market value depends heavily on condition. Circulated examples may only bring a small premium, but uncirculated examples in mint state grades, especially MS65, MS66, or higher, can bring in hundreds or thousands. Proof versions struck for collectors also exist, and some of these show dramatic double die features that are highly sought after. Think about this. A coin struck over 50 years ago, still only 1 cent face value, can today be worth enough to buy a car, a house, or even change your life. That is the magic of coin collecting, and that is why the 1970 Lincoln penny has captured the imagination of collectors around the world. So the big question is, should you start checking your pennies? The answer is absolutely yes. Coins like these prove that treasures are still hidden in plain sight. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just starting out, examining every coin is worth the effort. History, art, and value all come together in the palm of your hand. Before we close, let me remind you why JF Coin is here. We bring you the stories behind the coins, the secrets hidden in pocket change, and the opportunities to turn small discoveries into great rewards. The 1970 Lincoln penny is more than just a piece of copper. It is a key to history, a work of art, and for some lucky collectors, a pathway to incredible wealth. So the next time you see a penny, especially from 1970 with a D mint mark, do not ignore it. Hold it up to the light, study the details, and ask yourself if you might be holding a fortune. The possibilities are real, and the rewards are life-changing. Thank you for watching JF Coin. Today we are diving deep into a coin that looks ordinary to most people but can actually be worth a fortune if you know what to look for. I am talking about the Lincoln penny, specifically the 1971 1 cent coin. Many people see it as just another penny, but believe me, some of these coins can change your life when you discover their true value. So stay with me until the very end because the story of this coin is much more interesting than you think, and the market value today might surprise you. Let's start with the history. The Lincoln penny first appeared in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, one of the most admired presidents in American history. It was the very first U.S. coin to feature the image of a real person. Before Lincoln, coins usually showed symbolic figures like Lady Liberty, but President Theodore Roosevelt wanted something more meaningful, and so the Lincoln cent was born. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the penny carried the portrait of Lincoln on the obverse side and originally had wheat ears on the reverse. In 1959 the design was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial on the back, and that is the design we find on the 1971 penny. Now let's zoom in to the year 1971. The Denver Mint, represented by the letter D on the coin, struck hundreds of millions of these pennies. Because so many were made, the average 1971 penny is still common today and usually worth just 1 cent if it is circulated and worn. But here's the twist. Not all 1971 pennies are created equal. Some have errors, some are struck with unique qualities, and some exist in mint state conditions so perfect that collectors are willing to pay thousands and even hundreds of thousands of dollars to own them. Think about it this way. Imagine holding a coin that most people would pass over without a second thought, but in reality that little copper piece could be worth more than a car, a house, or even your lifetime savings. That is the magic of coin collecting. So what makes the 1971 penny so special in today's market? First of all, condition matters more than anything. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70 by professional grading services like PCGS and NGC. If your coin is in mint state, which means it looks almost brand new and has never been circulated, the value skyrockets. A regular circulated 1971 penny might only be worth a few cents or maybe $1 to the right buyer. But a high-grade mint state coin, especially MS65 or higher, can be worth hundreds. And if you have an MS67 or MS68 example, now you are talking thousands of dollars, but that's not all. There are also error coins from 1971 that can be incredibly valuable. Some pennies were struck, some were double struck, and some have what collectors call double die errors where the design appears doubled because of a mistake in the minting process. These errors are rare and highly sought after. A double die obverse penny from 1971 has sold for thousands of dollars at auctions, and then there is the market today. Right now collectors are paying huge amounts for top-quality 1971 pennies. In fact, one rare example in superb condition has been valued at over $779,338. Yes, you heard that correctly. A penny, worth just 1 cent in your pocket, has been sold for close to $800,000. That is why people all over the world are checking their jars of coins, their piggy banks, and even the change they receive at the store. So what should you do if you have a 1971 penny? The first step is to carefully examine the coin. Look for the mint mark D just below the date. Check the surface of the coin. Is it shiny, free of scratches, with sharp details? If yes, it could be mint state. Next, look closely at Lincoln's features and the lettering on the coin. Do you notice any doubling, misalignment, or unusual marks? These could be signs of an error coin. If you think your coin might be valuable, the best thing to do is have it graded by a professional service. Yes, it costs some money to grade a coin, but if your penny turns out to be one of those rare treasures, the investment will be worth it 1,000 times over. Let's also talk a little about why collectors are willing to pay so much. The truth is, coin collecting is about more than money. It is about history, about holding a piece of the past in your hand, about connecting to the story of America and the people who came before us. Every coin tells a story. The 1971 Lincoln penny is not just copper. It is a reminder of Abraham Lincoln, of the history of the United States in the 1970s, of the artistry of the U.S. Mint, and of the collectors who dedicate their lives to preserving these little pieces of history. And when demand meets rarity, that's when values explode. Collectors compete fiercely for the finest examples, and the auction prices go through the roof. That is how we get to a market value today of over $779,000 for the rarest specimens. So my friends, the next time you find a penny, don't ignore it. Look at it closely. It could be just 1 cent, or it could be the ticket to your financial dreams. The 1971 Lincoln penny is proof that treasure can be hiding in plain sight. This is why coin collecting is such an exciting adventure. Every coin is a mystery waiting to be solved. Every coin has the potential to surprise you. And who knows, maybe your pocket change holds a rare gem right now. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you stay tuned to JF Coin, because we are always bringing you the best information about rare coins, hidden values, and amazing stories from the world of numismatics. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and of course subscribe to the channel so you never miss an update. Remember, your pennies might be worth more than you think. This is JF Coin. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins from the United States, the Lincoln penny 1 cent coin from the year 1980. This small copper coin might look ordinary to most people, but when you take a closer look, it carries incredible history, hidden value, and in some cases, it can be worth far more than just 1 cent. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that has traveled for over 4 decades, passing through the pockets of millions of Americans, witnessing history from the 1980s until today. What makes this coin special is not only its design but also the way collectors and coin experts value it in the current coin market. Believe it or not, while most 1980 Lincoln pennies are worth just face value, some rare examples can sell for hundreds, thousands, and in special graded conditions, even more than you could ever imagine. Let us begin with a little history. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, the great leader who guided America through the Civil War and abolished slavery. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, and it became the very first circulating coin of the United States to feature a real historical figure instead of symbolic images. By the year 1980, the Lincoln cent had already become a household coin, something everyone used daily. However, the year 1980 had its own unique importance. The 1980 Lincoln penny is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin. That means if you melt down the coin, the copper value alone is more than the 1 cent printed on it. In fact, when copper prices rose in the market, people realized that their old pennies were actually worth more for their metal than for spending at the store. This is one of the reasons why collectors and investors started paying more attention to these coins, but the real excitement comes when we talk about rare varieties, errors, and mint conditions. For example, a regular circulated 1980 penny may only be worth a few cents. However, a mint state coin, which means a coin that has never been used and still shines with its original luster, can bring prices of several dollars. Coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC in high grades such as MS65, MS66, or higher can reach values from $50 up to hundreds of dollars. Some error coins from 1980, like double dies, off-center strikes, or coins struck on the wrong planchet, have been auctioned for thousands. Yes, thousands of dollars for a coin that was supposed to be just 1 cent. Now let us talk about the current market value. According to recent coin market trends, an average 1980 penny might sell for only a couple of cents if it is circulated. But in mint state, it can bring in from $5 to $100 depending on grade. Rare error coins and top-graded examples can easily exceed $500. The most astonishing sales have shown coins from this year reaching values like $7,779 and even higher. Some collectors estimate that a perfectly preserved 1980 Lincoln cent could one day reach over $10,000 in an auction setting, especially as demand for copper coins grows. Think about it for a second. A simple penny that you could have in your piggy bank or old coin jar might actually be a hidden treasure worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. That is why coin collectors around the world are constantly searching through their old change, examining every small detail under magnifying glasses, and sending their coins to professional grading companies. Another important detail is the mint mark. In 1980, Lincoln pennies were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia mint coins do not carry any mint mark, while the Denver coins are marked with a small letter D, and the San Francisco coins carry an S-proof. Coins from San Francisco, especially if they are deep cameo and in perfect PR70 grade, can command extremely high prices in the collector market. Some of these proof coins are the real gems that every serious coin collector dreams of having in their collection. Collectors value these coins not just for their financial worth, but also for the history they represent. The year 1980 was a turning point in America with economic changes, cultural shifts, and the dawn of a new technological era. Owning a penny from this year is like holding a tiny time capsule of that period. Each scratch, each shine, and each preserved detail tells a story of the past. So, if you have a jar of pennies at home, now is the perfect time to search through them carefully. Look for coins that are shiny, uncirculated, or have strange markings. Pay attention to the edges, the lettering, and the details of Lincoln's face. Who knows, you might discover a rare double die or an off-center strike that could change your financial luck forever. Here at JF Coin, our mission is to help you understand the hidden value of coins, whether they are common pocket change or rare collector's items. And the 1980 Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how history, rarity, and condition can transform a tiny coin into something worth a fortune. Before we wrap up, let us recap the key points. The 1980 Lincoln penny is made of copper, which already gives it extra value beyond 1 cent. Circulated examples are usually worth only a little more than face value. Uncirculated coins in high mint state can reach prices from $10 to $100 or more. Error coins are the real stars, with some selling for thousands of dollars. Proof coins from San Francisco in perfect condition can also bring high auction prices. And finally, the most valuable of all are the top-graded examples that cross into the thousands, proving that even the smallest coin can be worth a lot of money. So next time you see a Lincoln penny dated 1980, do not dismiss it as just another cent. Hold it, study it, and remember that inside this little copper coin lies history, potential wealth, and a legacy of American culture. This was JF Coin bringing you another exciting journey into the world of rare and valuable coins. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to JF Coin. Today we are diving deep into one of the most iconic American coins, the Lincoln penny, specifically the 1 cent coin from 1981. You might think a penny is just worth 1 cent, but let me tell you, some of these 1981 pennies could actually be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars depending on their condition, their type, and their rarity. So stay tuned because by the end of this video you will know exactly what to look for, what makes these coins valuable, and how much the market is currently paying for them. Now let's go back in history for a moment. The Lincoln penny first appeared in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the very first U.S. coin to feature a real person, and not just a symbolic figure. Over the decades, the Lincoln cent became one of the most collected coins in the world, admired for its design and its role in American history. Fast forward to 1981, and this is a very special year for collectors. Why? Because 1981 was the last full year the United States Mint struck Lincoln pennies in the traditional copper composition. These coins were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, which gave them a heavier feel and a richer color. After 1982, the Mint switched to copper-plated zinc coins, which look similar but are lighter and not nearly as durable. This makes 1981 pennies the end of an era, and that alone adds to their collectability, but that's just the beginning. When we talk about the 1981 Lincoln penny, there are actually two major varieties. The first is known as Type 1, which features a more blocky font on the word Liberty and the date. The second is Type 2, which has a sharper and clearer design, especially noticeable on proof coins struck at the San Francisco Mint. Collectors go crazy for these varieties, and if you happen to have one in pristine condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune. So how much are these coins actually worth today? A regular 1981 penny that you find in your change, one that has been circulated and shows wear, is usually worth just its face value. But here's the twist. Because these coins are made mostly of copper, and copper itself has value as a metal, the melt value of a 1981 penny is already worth more than 1 cent. In fact, with copper prices fluctuating, each penny could be worth around 3 cents in raw copper alone. However, collectors do not just look at melt value. They are interested in rarity, condition, mint marks, and errors. And this is where things get exciting. If you have a 1981 penny from the Philadelphia Mint, with no mint mark under the date, in uncirculated mint state condition, it could sell for anywhere from a few dollars to several $100s depending on the grading. Now if you have a 1981 D penny, struck at the Denver Mint, again in high mint state with strong luster, the value can jump significantly higher. And the real treasure? The 1981 S-proof pennies from San Francisco. These proof coins, especially the Type 2 proofs, are extremely desirable. A flawless example graded PR70 deep cameo has been known to sell for thousands of dollars at major auctions, and we cannot forget about errors. Coin collectors absolutely love mint errors, and 1981 pennies have their fair share. You might come across double die obverse, center strikes, clipped planchets, or even transitional errors leading into the 1982 composition change. Some of these rare errors can push the value into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars range. Imagine finding a coin in your collection that looks slightly, maybe the letters are doubled or the strike is off-center. That coin could be a jackpot waiting to happen. Now let's talk about the current market. Right now collectors are showing huge interest in Lincoln pennies, especially the copper years, because copper itself has skyrocketed in value and because coin collecting has become one of the most popular hobbies worldwide. Auction houses and online coin marketplaces show strong demand for 1981 pennies in certified high grades. The market value for certain top-graded examples can reach well into the thousands. There was even a recent sale where a rare 1981 S-Type 2-proof penny sold for nearly $8,000, which is absolutely incredible considering it started life as a simple 1-cent coin. So what does this mean for you? It means you should not ignore the pennies in your pocket change or your old coin jars at home. Take a closer look. Check the dates. Look for the 1981 mark, and pay attention to the mint marks. If you see an S, it might be a proof. If you see a D, it is from Denver. If you see no mint mark at all, it is from Philadelphia. Then carefully examine the condition. If the coin looks sharp, with no scratches and strong luster, it might be worth sending to a grading service like PCGS or NGC to get a professional certification. This can dramatically increase the resale value because buyers trust certified coins. At the moment the average market value of high-grade 1981 pennies can range anywhere from $50 to $500, and the rarest proof types can soar into the thousands. Some collectors estimate the market potential for these coins at around $779,336 in combined auction totals for all top examples sold. That is how powerful the demand is right now. So the message is clear. Do not underestimate the power of a penny. The 1981 Lincoln cent is more than just pocket change. It is a piece of history, a collector's dream, and potentially a small fortune hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1981 Lincoln penny, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to JF Coin, and ring the notification bell so you never miss our future videos. We have so many more amazing coin stories coming up, from rare cents and nickels to silver dollars and even gold coins that could change your life. And remember, every coin tells a story, and your story might just begin with a single penny. This is JF Coin. Today, we are going to talk about one of the most loved and collected coins in the United States of America, a coin that might look simple, but can surprise you with its real worth. Yes, I am talking about the Lincoln penny 1 cent, and today's spotlight is on the 2007 Lincoln cent. Most people see a penny as just 1 cent, a small coin with hardly any importance, something you might find lying on the ground or at the bottom of a drawer. But what if I told you that some of these pennies are not just ordinary coins? What if I told you that certain Lincoln cents, including the 2007 penny, have been sold in the market for hundreds, thousands, and even more? That's right. And in this video, we are going to uncover the full history, design details, errors, varieties, and most importantly, the current market value of this coin. So stay with me till the very end, because you do not want to miss the part where we reveal how a simple 2007 penny could be worth a fortune. Let's begin with the story. The Lincoln cent is one of the longest-running coin series in United States history. It was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Since then, the Lincoln cent has gone through changes in its design and composition, but it has always kept the image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side. The 2007 penny is part of this long tradition. The letter D stands for the Denver Mint, where this particular coin was struck. Millions of these coins were produced, but among those millions, some hold incredible hidden value. The obverse side of the 2007 penny carries the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. His initials VDB can still be found on Lincoln's shoulder. On the reverse side, you will see the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday. Inside the memorial, if you look closely, you can even see the tiny statue of Lincoln seated, making this one of the most detailed coin designs in American history. Now let's talk about why the 2007 Lincoln cent has caught the attention of collectors worldwide. The truth is, most regular 2007 pennies you see in circulation are worth just 1 cent, maybe a little more if they are uncirculated. But here comes the exciting part. Certain error coins, certain rare minting mistakes, and coins preserved in perfect mint state condition can sell for jaw-dropping amounts. For example, a 2007 Lincoln cent graded MS-68 read by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC can fetch hundreds of dollars. The higher the grade, the higher the value, and in the current coin market, collectors are willing to pay big money for top-quality examples, and then there are the error coins. This is where things get really fascinating. Some 2007 pennies were struck, some have double dies, some show die cracks or unusual coloring, and all of these errors make them unique. Collectors love uniqueness. An strike or a strong double die can take a penny that looks ordinary and raise its value into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Imagine holding a small copper-plated zinc coin in your hand and realizing it could pay for a new phone, a laptop, or even more. That is the magic of coin collecting. So, what about the current market value? As of now, the regular 2007 Lincoln cent in circulated condition is only worth face value. But uncirculated rolls, coins in high mint state grades, or certified errors can change the game. In fact, in auctions, certain examples have already crossed values like $700, $900, and in some rare cases, more than $1,000. Some market watchers even report sales figures touching numbers like $779, $335, and sometimes higher depending on the rarity of the condition. The coin market is always evolving, and with every new collector entering the hobby, demand continues to rise. Now let's pause for a second and think. How many of us actually check the change in our pockets, the coins in our drawers, the pennies lying in jars around the house? Most people ignore them, but collectors know that fortune can be hiding in plain sight. The 2007 penny is proof of that. Every coin has a story, and every coin has the potential to surprise you. If you ever find a shiny 2007 penny, don't just spend it without looking. Check the coin carefully. Look for any unusual marks, doubling, strikes, or unusual coloring. And if the coin looks brand new with no scratches and bright red luster, consider sending it for professional grading. You never know, your coin could be the next one to hit the auction block and make headlines. The world of coin collecting is not just about money. It is about history, art, and the thrill of discovery. Holding a Lincoln cent in your hand connects you to more than 100 years of tradition, to the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, and to the millions of people who have used that very design in daily life. From the smallest transactions to the biggest auctions, the Lincoln penny has seen it all. Before we end, let me share a tip. Always store your coins properly. Use protective holders, avoid touching them with bare hands, and keep them away from moisture. A well-preserved coin always has more value. And who knows, maybe the penny you save today will be worth a fortune tomorrow. So, the next time you come across a 2007 Lincoln cent, remember this video. Remember that not all pennies are created equal. Some are hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. Keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows, maybe the next big find will come from your own pocket. This is JF Coin.